All right, so today we're going to talk about something that both men and women do. Now, purposes of this video, since this is a men's support channel, I will throw you guys a bone and I will illustrate what it is that the women do first, but then you have to watch the back end of the video where I unfortunately explain to you how we do the same thing. Trust the brother. All right. So, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about projection. And now I see you guys like, what? What is this man getting ready to say? Just hear me out. Hear me out. All right. I tell you, I'm gonna tell you the good part first, the part that you want to hear, the complaint about the woman. But we do the same thing, but just in a very different way. So, what I mean when I talk about projection from a female standpoint is that, men, we've all experienced the following episode. Maybe we notice that our wife's hairbrush continues to fall on the bathroom floor after she's exited. And we know that she's got the long, luxurious hair. She likes to brush it a lot. Brush keeps falling on the floor. So maybe one day in passing, we just mentioned, hey, you might want to think about putting your brush somewhere else because I keep picking it up off the floor for you. And I know how you hate when your things get dirty. And she says, oh, okay, thanks for letting me know. And you go along your merry way. And you think everything's fine. For you, everything is fine. She said, thanks. This is long forgotten until 2 weeks, 3 weeks later. Long story short, you're having a animated discussion that might be turning into an argument. And she will make some kind of comment about how you don't like her hair. What? Wait, what? When did I say that? Well, you were complaining about my hairbrush the other day. How did you get that I didn't like your hair? Well, long story short, what turns out is that when she was a teenager and she was brushing her hair a lot, her father used to complain about all the hair that would end up on the floor and how her hairbrush would fall on the floor. And so when you mentioned that her hairbrush fell on the floor, she took whatever emotion that she felt back when her dad used to say that to her, and she applied it to you. And so, whatever feeling that she had way back then as a kid, she will now immediately assume that you were intending to elicit that exact feeling in her, but she won't tell you that. She'll just put that in her back pocket until 3 weeks later when she says, well, you don't even like my hair. And you were left wondering and bewildered. She will project what her feelings were back then and how she felt about what her dad was saying. And she will project it right onto you and not even say anything until you find out about it later. Okay? We've all experienced that. However, men, this is the part you don't want to hear. I get it. I understand. Not everything can be just complaints about women. We have to look at ourselves as well. We do it too. We do it too. However, the difference is what we will notice as men over time is that what women will do is they will take a negative emotion that they have felt in the past, a negative experience that they have felt. Maybe somebody said some really bad things to them at some point, and if you ever even get close to those words, no matter what the context is, she's going to get upset with you. So she will project those things, the negative things that she might feel or believe about herself, any insecurities, she's going to project that onto you and assume that when you say something a certain way or you say specific words, that's what you mean. Now, what men do is we will project the same way, except we project the positive things. And this, gentlemen, is why many times we are so shocked when something happens. This is why it can hurt so much when it inevitably is the woman that gives up first. Because what we feel inside as men, especially when we're in love, we will feel that sense of loyalty, duty, honor, commitment, sacrifice, all of those things that we feel. That's our role. That's what we've been told. And that's what we carry with us. And what inevitably happens is we will project those feelings onto our wife, girlfriend, whoever, and we will just assume that they feel the same way, especially if they take an action that might remind us of an action that we've taken. Maybe we've done something that made us feel proud about how our loyalty and our duty and our honor. Maybe we did a specific thing, and maybe she did something similar. We will assume that she did it for the reasons that we did: loyalty, honor, commitment, these types of things. And so when I think the statistic is like 75% of divorces, they're started by women. We all know that generally speaking, it is the man that will keep trying and trying and trying long after the woman has checked out of the relationship. And so when it finally ends up being where we realize that they do not have the same level of loyalty, commitment, sacrifice in them as we do, we're just shocked. We're just taken aback. If a woman is cheated on, if a man cheats on a woman, what does a woman say a lot of the times? I knew he was going to do it. I knew he was a snake. I knew he was a dog. I knew it. I knew it. Because there is a general overriding sense of distrust from years of programming how men are pigs, etc., etc. But for us men, the good ones, the loyal ones, when we're cheated on, it'll break us down because we never thought in a million years that that person would do that to us. Now, of course, this is generally speaking. Not every woman says, I knew it. There are women, obviously, who are genuinely shocked that their men have cheated. But most of the time, when there's a breakup that was the woman's doing, we'll see the woman off on social media and she gone being done happy and successful like you never existed. While the man, a lot of times, is, well, we can struggle a little bit because whatever that last argument was, whatever the last straw was, we were likely the initiators of that because we were still trying and they had checked out long ago. So the point here, man, is that we cannot fix what the women do. Okay? We'll talk about this in subsequent videos about how to learn to know if you're going to get empathy in a relationship or not. It's really, really easy. But in terms of rejection, there's not much that we can do. All right? But for us, we can do. For us, there's things we can do. Okay? Now, you never want to talk about you don't want to trust another person. You have to be able and be willing to open up yourself to trusting spouse. Okay? You have to. But for us men, the best thing that we can do if we want to make sure that our wife-to-be is going to be loyal and will have the appropriate level of commitment in her is time. That's the only thing that we can really do because you don't want to remain closed off. And yeah, in the beginning, you do want to protect yourself. But as things progress, you do not want a lack of trust to be the reason why things do not go the way that you would like them to go, unless you feel there's a genuine reason for that lack of trust. And that's the other part to it, is trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. There are some people that you just know right off the bat, I trust this person. And then there's some people where you're just like, I don't know. I don't know. And it doesn't matter how hard you think you should know, and it doesn't matter what they do. There's always that little, I don't know if I trust this person 100%. Don't marry that person. Trust your gut there. Absolutely trust your intuition that way. In terms of not projecting what we would feel onto them, I mean, that is tough. That is a tough pill for a man to swallow. Rare is the woman who is going to have in her heart and in her makeup the same level of loyalty, commitment, sense of duty to her man. They do exist, That is not, it's just not the way women are built. Women are built to be loyal to whoever is going to provide the most. And as soon as, if there's any question mark in the relationship, she sees brighter futures, she's going to run for it. And that's the end of that. Man won't do that for the most part. How many men leave their wives for a richer woman? It doesn't seem to be all that common. So there's different ways that you can protect yourself, and we'll talk about that in subsequent videos. But for now, man, the best thing that you can do is just be aware. Just be aware that she might not feel all of that sense of duty and loyalty that you do. That doesn't mean she won't be loyal, because men, we have a different makeup. So it doesn't mean that she won't be loyal, but you have to be willing to accept as a man that you might feel that emotion more than she does. I think that's the bottom line. It's not easy. It's not easy, because we don't want that. We want somebody that's going to feel equally, but that's a rare one. It's a rare one. If you know one, does she have a sister?